Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Talks to My Dude podcast. I'm your host, Nick, my dude. Today, I've got Crystal, the most patient Sherpa to ever exist, coming on and just kind of hang out. How you doing, Crystal?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Awesome. And for anybody at home who doesn't know you or your content, you want to give yourself a brief introduction?
Yeah, so my name's Crystal. I go by Emily as well. Most people just call me Crystal though. You usually find me around on twitch.tv/crystalplayzgamez. I'm sure Nick will link it in the bio. However, I'm a small content creator with like roughly 500, 600 people on Twitch. Haven't checked in a while, but I stream Destiny 2 mainly, and yeah, that's about it.
You make it sound so simple. I stream Destiny
I'm so
2 and is a
I'm so, I'm so
well
bad.
seasoned raider who spends lots of their time Sherpaing people through a raid. But for anybody who doesn't know, what is a Sherpa?
So basically, a Sherpa is a raid teacher. They're usually well versed in like every single mechanic, and they know like what kind of weapons you should bring, and they know how to like train people to take on raids. I've seen a lot of people that I've taught actually go on to do their own raids and like teach other people, and that's really what like is my motivation for doing this. You know, I love seeing the process of. You have a little blueberry, which is basically in the Destiny community. Blueberries are people who are well like decked out in just blue gear, blue weapons, they just fresh to the game, that kind of thing. And you see them go into their first raid and they're running around like chickens with their head cut off and they don't know what's going on. And then, I love watching them turn into like their own Sherpas and lead their own groups and teach people.
That's so funny. The term blueberry, in general, from other games I've played, is basically just like a term for random, or like
Yeah.
like other player not in my group, not necessarily like new player.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, that's mainly just because whenever you start this game, you start out with gray armor and then you move into blue and then purple armor, you know. So the term blueberry was just something that the community garnered as like, "Oh, they're a fresh player because 'cause they're all in blue gear."
wow, fake Sherpa didn't even remember the green gear, the legendary green gear.
Green doesn't exist.
That's not true. I watched a John Titor video today where somebody had a green rocket launcher in a
Hey,
raid.
hey, 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 hey,
So
hey. That would be me. I would
checkmate.
totally rock that green. I would totally rock a green rocket launcher, especially in Crucible.
Oh, I go into Crucible with like the original Kvostov that you like start the game with sometimes. The gray one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is cool. I'm sure some people get killed by that. And like before it came back, everybody was like, what is happening?
That's how I feel running the most silly loadouts in Crucible.
Yeah, Crucible is you gotta make your fun in Crucible because it's just is what it
I'm
is.
so tired of seeing Redrix. Every single match, Redrix, Redrix, Redrix.
You will
It's
enjoy
crazy right now.
your pulse rifle and you will like it.
Listen, I'm a pulse rifle enjoyer, but I don't need to see Redrix every 5 seconds, you
Don't
know?
worry, it'll go back to hand cannons and shotguns here in like a season or two.
I hope for that because I can counter that. I can't counter Redrix sniping me from halfway across the map.
Just aim better, forehead.
Nuh-uh.
Nuh. So, you talked about like being so excited to teach people raids and stuff like that. What kind of got you into Sherping in the first place? Like, what was your call to action, your hero's journey of becoming a
So
Sherpa?
so funnily enough, I don't really tell this story a lot, but basically what happened and, like, how I started chirping is I started in Season of Plunder with my group of IRLs, and my husband, was the one who, like, kinda pushed us to all play Destiny. So, we're all playing and, like, we booted up DSC, Deepstone Crypt, for those who don't know. And we got all the way to the end. And then our friend who was teaching us at the time, because he had kinda done it before,
Hmm.
actually had to go. And before he left, he hit up the D2 LFG, like the in-game fire team finder, when the fire team finder was still dog shit, and was like, looking for one to teach XYZ. And this guy actually came and taught us the entirety of like the final encounter. And my husband looks at me and is like, I think you'd be really good at doing that. So we started learning all the raids. And then after we learned all the raids, he was like, okay, I think like, you like the game, I think you'd be good at this. Why don't you give it a shot? So I started the server and, I had like no one. So funnily enough, I went into the shadow server, which is like one of the D2 content creators, to try to find people. And that was, like, the first time ever that I started raiding with, like, my learners. And, it's been a long, like, ups and downs, I've finally gotten to the point where I'm comfortable teaching 5 in, like, every single raid except for Salvation's Edge. But I remember my first experience teaching 5 people VOW. That was crazy. That took us five and
I'm
a half
sure you had so
hours.
much fun. 5
It
hours,
was
let's go.
5 and a half, 3 of those hours being in the 3rd encounter.
Raids generally have, like, 3 encounters or something, right?
Mm, most raids have 4. You
Oh,
have,
okay.
like, your raids that have a little bit longer, like King's Fall and Last Wish both have like 5 or 6, I believe.
Okay.
But standard basis is like 4 encounters per raid.
See, that shows how much I had played Destiny. I have done I think I checked Destiny Finder or not Finder, Destiny whatever, the thing where you can
The
raid
raid
report,
report.
and I have, like, 7 raids total, and, like, 5 of them are Vaulted Glass.
Well, Vault's like my favorite. One of my favorites.
I like telling people that Vault is the best because it was the first one, and, don't tell them that I haven't played most of the raids because I have not.
You have 2 full clears.
I have 2 full clears.
Yeah.
Are you sure that's me? Because my screen name and my, in-the-game name are actually slightly different.
Is it not just Nick, my dude?
No. I've got,
Hmm.
oh, well, actually, I don't remember anymore.
Because it says 5 vaulted glass and then 1 King's Fall. Yeah, this is definitely you. It's with John.
Okay. Yeah, so, like I said, I've only, done some. I did a few more in D1, but also it's mostly Volta Glass. I think it's still, like, 3 Volta Glass and, like, 1 Crota, and then, like, maybe 1 Wrath of the Machine,
Yeah, we
if I had
started
to guess.
back before it was vaulted, like, long time ago, we did, like, a single eater world checkpoint, like, forever ago. Don't ask me what we did because I don't remember, but that was, like, my first initial, introduction to the game, was that.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
and then we dropped it for a while, came back during Season of Plunder, and then I Season of Seraph right after Plunder was what really sealed me in because I loved, like, going and playing all of the Stasis campaign. And then you had Seraph, which focused more on, Elsie and Anna Bray as characters, and the whole thing with Clovis and him being evil and the war mines. And it was so cool to me. It was like, whoa, this is such cool lore. And like, I love the characters. And then doing the Lament quest that focuses more on that too is just like, it's what really sealed me in. And now it's like a prison.
Hmm.
I'm never escaping.
A Beautiful Nightmare.
Yeah, one might say a beautiful nightmare.
Don't worry, anybody who's listening, we will get to that later. Uh, so you mentioned you have a Discord now, and I know it's been growing, and I will self-report I have not joined it, but that's because I don't play Destiny. Uh,
Honestly, crazy that you don't.
yeah, with the amount of Destiny creators I hang out with, it's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just there's like so much like the new player experience or like returner experience isn't great.
Oh, it's
There's like
it's awful.
yeah, and
It's
so like
so bad.
I
I
don't
had to
have
bring my cousin. You're good.
I don't have like all this gear that you need like people use for like good DPS or whatever. If you watch the raids with John, except for the Vault of Glass ones, the Kingsfall I did, like I don't go down. I think the whole DPS phase or whatever, and like I do like a quarter of everybody's damage because I don't have anything.
Yeah, it's really hard. for, like, the newer players, I think, to, like, get into the game because how bad the, new player experience is. But they've made a lot of changes to how you can get exotics now
Oh
to,
yeah,
like,
I've
help
got
out the
tons of
new
them now.
players and stuff. Yeah, especially with, like, Xur and, like, the accessibility that's there now, and he's been selling, like, a lot of meta weapons, at least for this season. Like, I've seen him sold, like, Lord of Wolves and Queensbreaker and, a lot of, like, good damage weapons, um, especially for raiding. So I feel like at this point, once they get past the new light stuff, they kinda can step into raids, especially with how accessible it is. It's just they have to get over the initial bump of the new light process.
Mhm. And I came back when Into the Light was coming out. So when they were doing uh the defense mission thingy, I forget what it's called right now. Um, you know what I'm talking about though.
Onslaught, that's what
Yeah,
it's called.
Onslaught.
I it took me a second to remember.
I was
I
gonna say
played the game.
Firefight, but that's Halo, but that's only because it's similar ish. So I got it back in then. So I got like a couple of cool things, and then did all of the DLC campaign or whatever. Uh, I'm sure that campaign was way cooler if I knew the whole fucking story.
Yeah, a lot of people have an issue with, like, the fact that they vaulted content, but, like, I completely get it if the game wasn't performing well and they need to release new stuff, you know?
Could
It's
you
kind of
imagine
it
trying to do
happens
from
in
like
any game.
Red War? They were like, "Oh, cool. Welcome to the
Oh, I
game.
saw.
You're starting from Red War. Do everything. Good luck." I don't know. That'd be a lot.
Yeah, and, like, that's a lot. Like, I feel bad that the new players have to go and do the intro to, Final Shape as one of their requirements to rank up. Because, like, they're not gonna understand any of the story up to that, so you're just throwing them in, and they're gonna have to watch this cutscene and be like, "What is even happening?" Like, it doesn't make sense to me, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I when I started playing, I got the pieces of the story because, like I said, like I hang around Destiny creators at the time, so I'd been watching John for uh like 6 to 8 months, I think. Uh,
Yeah.
so I'd been like around Destiny content, which is still weird. Like I even like I said, I installed and played, but what happened is the first time I actually installed it much earlier than that. I got frozen by a stasis lock and then I didn't play anymore. I was like, because I did Crucible. Because when I stopped playing, it was Forsaken. It was like not long after Forsaken.
Yeah, Stasis used to be really broken when it first came out, and, that's what I mained. So,
Hmm.
Stasis was the other thing that got me into, like, the game, because not only did I have, like, the cool lore background, and then, like, they released the Stasis subclass, and I thought it was so cool that I could go around and freeze enemies, and, like, I remember we were doing, like, our first GMs, which are, if you don't know, they're, like, some of the hardest content in the game, although a lot of people say they're pushovers nowadays because you have, like, a lot of stuff with prismatic that you can do. But back in the day when GMs used to be really hard, it was like fighting the worst boss in the game, and I would go over there and just, like, shut down a zone because I have, stasis, and I'd be able to,
Hmm.
like, go over there and just crowd control everything while the other guys helped. It was crazy.
Yeah. Uh, I like so I use Prismatic now mostly just because it's like insane. So I use the Warlock freeze grenade plus the snap, and just like you get your grenade energy back so fast. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think that was probably
Prismatic is pretty good.
I think that's what pushed me away the first time I came back before Into the Light was like the abilities. Because like in Forsaken, like the abilities were there, but you weren't like in PvP. It wasn't so much.
Yeah, I completely get you. Like, PvP focused probably more on the gameplay than the actual, like, ability spam that you are able to do now. Like, it's crazy that you can look at the side of your screen on a prismatic, like, hunter, for example, and I can see 5 different buffs going on at once
Yeah,
that all impact your gameplay.
yeah. And then in back in the day, I was just kind of like, cool. I have a grenade, I have a melee, and I have a gun, and that was like all you needed.
Yeah.
You didn't get tons of buffs. Getting a buff was like insane, actually. Um, I don't know. It's just kind of Destiny moved away from that, from what I liked in the PvP. So when I came back and I got frozen, and then there was like 8 trillion debuffs going on, I was like, no more.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Never. And then I started playing it again, and I was like, it's fine, but like you have to make your own fun. It's like the
Yeah,
biggest part.
it's definitely a game where, that you're always gonna run into the PvP sweats, but you're also gonna be able to find, like, what makes it fun for you, you know? I get a lot of hate for my loadout because I run ACD feedbacks, and in short, if I'm a Titan, I run in head first. If people punch me, I punch them back and they die,
That's funny.
or vice versa, which is really funny. It is really funny to just run into an entire team of 6 and punch one of them, and then they punch me and they all die because my ACDs go off. Um, I've had that happen multiple times, and it's still funny every single time.
Yeah. What
So,
I
I mean,
would.
it really is, like, what you make it.
I was using vaulted weapons, like the Ether Doctor. Every time you see me, if I ever play Destiny 2 PvP again, that's probably what I'll be using. Um, it's a Forsaken gun, uh, and it's got tap the trigger rampage, and I love it so much. And no gun has felt as good to use. And then I use like red war weapons, like a single clap, and just I know I've killed some people on PvP who are like, "Where? What gun is that? Where did that come from?"
Season 4, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's a Forsaken weapon. Yeah, I like to mess with people. I like to use really old shit.
It
It's
is
got
really funny.
my sniper has one perk on it and it's in scopes, and people are probably like, "What? You mean it doesn't kill 17 enemies every time you pull the trigger? It doesn't
Yeah.
have ricochet rounds or something?" Nope. I just click on your head and you die. That's all it does. We got a little sidetracked, but I was talking about your Discord community. How's it been seeing it grow? I just, cause like I said, I'm
It's
not in
kind
there,
of
so I don't know how many people
surreal.
are in there, but I imagine it's
Yeah,
grown pretty
so
good.
right now, let me look. So right now we're sitting at a comfortable 2,055. So to put it into perspective, I started the server. Um, let me look it up for the exact number. So I started it a little over a year ago,
Oh
September 14th,
wow.
2023. And the fact that in the first year of it being around, it hit 1,300 people was absolutely insane to me. Like, that was a number I didn't even fathom in my head when I made the server, because I didn't think that, like, my self-confidence was so low when I started, like, doing this, that I was like, "Yeah, like, it's just gonna be a friend server, no one's really gonna join it." And funnily enough, the thing that really, like, started pushing was, like, me posting on Reddit a lot, because I see, like, as cesspool of as Reddit is, I would see a lot of posts on, like, the fire team finders of, like, "Hey, looking for XYZ, looking for this, looking for that." And I would just respond and be like, "Hey, I have a place for that if you wanna chill, if you wanna vibe, if you wanna make friends, if you wanna raid, if you wanna, do nightfalls, if you wanna do crucible, like, we're a hub for everything." And people saw that, and, that's how my reputation started growing on there, is that they would see my posts because I was, like, on there, like, as soon as the post got started. Like, if it went up that day, I was responding the same day. Like, I was really hard on Reddit. Um, and then that's just how the server started growing.
Okay. So was it you said about was it 2000? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, roughly 2,000
In
people
you started in
in a
23.
year
That's
and a
pretty
half,
crazy.
not even. Yeah, it's it's
That's
like,
really great growth.
yeah, a year and a half.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
This is actually a celebration of the 2K members of the Discord podcast now.
I already did the
No,
2K
no, too
celebration.
bad.
I
It's
like
this is
to,
it now.
it was kinda funny. Every single time that we'd get, like, an extra 100 members, I would ping everyone and be like, "Guys, we did it. We have 100 members now." It was, like, crazy. When we hit 150 members, I think it was, around Halloween, and, we had a good, like, basis of, like, our regulars, and I would talk to them, like, a lot. Like, I'm very interactive with with my server.
Mhm.
Very active, unlike a lot of server owners who, like, kinda, like, make it and then just disappear. Now I'm like that. I'm very chill with them. So Basically, it was around Halloween, and we had just hit 150 members. And I was like, "Hey guys, what do you think we should do for 200?" And somewhere along the way, my friend was like, "Oh, you should dress up in a costume for 200 and stream it." And I was like, "Oh, that'd be silly." So I went to like Spirit Halloween, and I was looking at the costumes on the wall, and I came across a hot dog costume. And from there on, that started the joke in the server of like the hot dog streams. Anybody who's known my content knows about the hot dog streams. It's kind of like an unspoken thing, but it's so funny to see on stream. So 200 members finally comes around, and I set up my webcam and everything, and that's kind of just like where the meme started of the hot dog streams, and then it's just been an ongoing joke.
I mean, hey, that's where those are the best kind when it comes out of like I don't know, naturally.
Yeah.
It's the best. So you mentioned you're streaming. What's your like favorite part about streaming? Uh, or rating? Like you can
Well,
get kind of both because you do it at the same time. But
it's funny because I've been streaming for like 10 years on and off. I've only really been serious about it because of the server.
hmm
Like, I started streaming back when I met my husband, which was like 2014, and I would just stream random games. But my favorite part about streaming in particular is really just like capturing the memories, if that makes sense.
hmm
Like, I really wish I still had the VODs like saved to my YouTube of our day one run, because that was just so chaotic. Like 15 hours on and off. Everyone was at my house. We had people like spend the night. We had people like it was my house at the time was like a really small apartment. So like we had like six people in our room, all on different setups doing a LAN party.
it's probably
And
so
I
warm in
really
there.
wish I had that. Oh my god, it was so bad. We had like four windows open, we had fans running, and we were going all the way into like the early AMs, you know. I think by the time I went to bed it was like 5 a.m. Freddie was still going. He was like really pushing for that day one. And then he woke me up at 12 and was like, "Em, this is your chance to get it if you want it." And I was like, "You know what? I'm so tired. I'm not even going to worry about day one. Let's just get contest clear." So we all came back after we took a nap, and we knocked it out, got our contest clear. But it's really for the memories, like, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean anybody who's watched these podcasts knows that I do stream. I'm trying to be more regular about it. Um, my favorite part about streaming is just like when people are hanging out, whether it be in chat or in like in the Discord or whatever. It's just cool, and like I want to be able to put content out there that people might enjoy. Because I mean, like for years, all I did was watch small streamers, and I just want to do for other people what they did for me. But also, I like just hanging out. So if I'm gonna be playing games and chatting with people, I might as well put it online. So if so, it's funny, people can enjoy it.
That's what I think about a lot because, like, if anyone's been in any of my streams with my husband, he is chaotic. Like, he is absolutely insane sometimes. So, I'm, like, really calm, I just vibe, I listen to my music, I'm, you know, chill. And then he'll be yapping in my ear about some stupid thing that he's been obsessed with and just goofing off. And like that's like the duality of our relationship.
hmm
He's the goofy one, I'm the calm one.
And it's good to have a dynamic. Uh, I'm so quiet. It's hard for me to just like talk like in general. Like if I'm just chilling and playing a game. It's a
Oh,
habit I'm trying
yeah.
to work on. Um, I like to play off people more. I don't know. I like to make lots of jokes. Much to my significant other's dismay, I'm very quick with puns.
It's a punishment.
Exactly. I'm so punny. I'm still waiting for my penultimate joke. So
I find it really nice that, like, a lot of people kinda just accept me for, like, who I am when I stream, because like, a lot of people, they go into, like, bigger servers or, like, bigger streamers' chats, and they expect, like, high energy, like, all the time.
why
But,
streamer
like
no yell?
yeah, and it's like, I think, like, the streaming community as a whole feels that, like, sometimes they just have to play, like, a fake part of themselves in order to, like, be accepted by a community. And that's why I'm really thankful for mine because I can sit there and be like, "Hey guys, I'm really not in the mood to talk. We can just vibe it out with some music and we'll type it out." And they're ready for that.
Mhm.
Or there's days where I'm hyper energetic and like, they're all vibing with me and we're all bouncing off each other, you know. But it's really nice to just be able to sit down at my computer, play my favorite game and then like not have to really worry about if someone in chat's gonna be like, "Oh, why aren't you talking? Why aren't you doing XYZ?" Because like, no one in my chat's
Me,
gonna
me,
do
me, me,
that.
me, me, you know? Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just in a weird spot with games right now. So, like, I'm mostly a Halo guy. I play a lot of Halo. Like, I've interviewed Halo professionals on this and done all that stuff. But, like, Halo Infinite isn't, like, super, super fun for me right now. It's, like, entertaining enough. Um, but I don't like, the only time I really feel like playing Halo Infinite is playing, like, ranked, and the experience for me, I can't stream it because Halo Infinite's netcode is so bad. If I stream it, I actually play worse, and I wish I was just coping.
I mean,
Uh,
I believe it. It's a Bungie game.
no, it's not. Halo Infinite is not a, is a Halo Studios 343 game.
Mm.
But there are like the shot registration difference is so noticeable. My buddy who I play with a lot noticed it as soon as I turned off my stream. Like people were like, I was getting way more damage and kills and everything. And I wasn't playing any different, so it was just like he could see me like micro stuttering, so like lagging a little bit,
Yeah.
which is so frustrating because I have like good internet. It makes me mad. I'm like, really? Why you gotta do this to me? So and then like I said, like for Destiny, and like I could probably get like the good Destiny gear now. Um, but like the majority of people that I watch or like hang out with don't do Destiny stuff that often anymore. Like I don't know, you could teach me a raid, but you got a
Yeah,
bunch of
but
people
it's
who want
more
to
like
learn.
if you're not gonna have like I feel like for Destiny, you really have to have like a want to play it or like you have to like think about it for like the long haul and like the longevity cuz like yeah, I could take you through a single raid. Like I've brought my IRL friends through a single raid and then they've dropped it. But like, you're not going to keep up with the game. You're not going to like go and play the seasons and that's really what the game wants you to do. It wants you to sit there and it wants you to like replay it and have things to grind for and, you know, as most looter shooters do. They want you to sit there and
Hmm.
play out like the seasonal content and the new modes and, redo exotic missions and things like that.
Yeah, they want you. They want you. They want their game to dominate your time, more or less.
Exactly.
And I like PvP too much to play only play Destiny because the PvP experience in Destiny gets boring after like an hour. I just don't
Yeah,
have
I
fun with it.
feel like
I'm like, meh, okay, I've seen it. Meh.
especially right now with like how oppressive void hunters are and the meta, it's super boring. You're either fighting against a void hunter who just sneaks up on you with a shotgun and Redrix, or a Titan sitting behind a barricade all the way in the back of the map with a scout rifle. And it's just so tiring.
Hmm. Well, and like I get tired of the hand cannons. I get tired and like the shotgun thing. Like I get super tired about this in shotguns because I don't like to. This is because I play Halo. I like to be moving around a lot. And because everybody spawns with a shotgun, um, you just kind of get punished sometimes. So I can't take
Oh
it
yeah,
seriously.
100%.
Like Destiny, like I just can't take Destiny PvP seriously. And I want to play a game where I can take the PvP seriously sometimes, more often than I don't, because I like competing.
Yeah.
So like Destiny is really like the raid content is super cool and like all that, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be a serial raid clearer. I'm gonna do it once and then like 6 months later, someone's like, "You want to do Vault of Glass again?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Not a.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. There was at one point when I just took like a whole month off the game because it was just getting like really tedious and addicting, and I was just like getting frustrated in my Sherpas like after the runs because like at that point I hadn't taken a break for like over a year. I was burnt out. I was, you know, getting tired of the game, and Salvation's Edge had like just came out and everybody was pushing for me to teach it. So,
Mhm,
me being humble was like, "All right, I'll teach it." Taking on way too much than, it was worth, and we'd sit there for 9 hours banging our head against the wall, trying to learn the raid. And it was just getting to the point of like, okay, I know for my mental health I need to take a step away and like, come back at this point.
mhm. And like Salvation's Edge is like a great example of one of the issues that I have with Destiny, and this is not like a universal thing. It's just like one of mine. I would love to go learn Salvation's Edge because it's probably closest to what I think like a first person shooter raid should look like. So like all these really cool like puzzles, and I mean you still have your you just shoot things to do the thing. Uh,
Yeah.
but like I would be an active detriment to my team on any DPS phase, and I don't want to have people sit through that.
Which is really insane that they decided to not only make it probably the hardest raid to teach anyone based on the fourth encounter alone, but they also made the health gate so high. Like, I'm only having an easier time teaching it this season because Lord of Wolves is busted and Queensbreaker is meta, which is crazy that I'm even saying that because Queensbreaker came out of like the shadows and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be meta now." But like when I was first teaching it back when it came out, we were still using Still Hunt when that was a thing before it got nerfed, and you had to have 5 hunters on your team to hit the damage caps
That's
because it was just
crazy.
insane. And, especially teaching new players, like I had put a limit on myself that in order for them to be in a Salvation's Edge with me, they had to have another raid experience under their belt, either Vow, King's Fall, or no, just or Crota, I think. Because those are harder raids to learn. You can't really get
Hmm.
carried through those. So I literally was like gatekeeping how much was being able to teach people because I couldn't even hold them. I couldn't carry them. And that says a lot about a raid.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I was kind of carried through that King's Fall or whatever I did. Um, that was more for the last damage phase than anything, though.
Yeah.
Like the mechanics, I felt like I got down, but it was like, oh, cool. I'm shooting as fast as I can with the strongest stuff that I have that like everybody told me how to set up, and I'm still only doing a quarter of other people's damage.
Yeah, I feel like the damage numbers don't really that matter as much when you're a learner. 'Cause, like, you're supposed to, be learning the raid, and it
Hmm.
doesn't really matter as much. But, like, my main thing is I want you to be able to grasp the concepts and I want you to, like, step up and, wanna do mechanics. That was another thing that, like, a lot of people, when they first started joining the server, it was always me having to be like, "Hey, guys, who wants to do mechanics?" And then I'd hear literal crickets
Yeah,
for,
ad
like,
clear. Be
5
ad
minutes,
clear.
and I'm like, "Okay, guys, I'm gonna start designating you because you guys
Me too. Ad
need to
clear.
learn." Like, yeah.
Ad clear and Destiny raids, like I know I've seen people like say they're gonna do ad clear, but like every time I watch anybody do a Destiny raid, and even the ones I've done and helped out with or whatever, I'm like, ad clear isn't a thing. You throw one grenade and kill half the things in the room. Like you don't need to have somebody who's just the ad clear unless it's like a specific encounter
Yeah,
that I
like,
haven't
I
been
think
through yet.
the only thing that you would actually need ad clear for is, like, day 1,
Hmm.
like, raids. Like, we had on day 1 Ron, we had designated ad clears, because we just there were so many ads, and when you're in a day 1, everything's lower level. Well,
Hmm.
like, you're lower level than the ads, so things would hurt.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy to me that on our day 1 run, we had people, like, drop out. when we all got tired, and everybody was searching, like, to just be ad clears. Like, you would run through the LFG groups, you'd see, like, looking for one, must be Warlock, must be Titan, because it was just a bunch of hunters joining groups and going, "I'm gonna ad clear," and that was all that they do.
Yeah. Uh, Speaking of ad clear, my favorite setup right now, it's the only setup I use on my warlock. It's the prismatic with the freeze grenade and the snap. But I have the exotic class item that gives me the freeze grenade better tracking, I think, or something like that.
Osneomancy?
No. I know one of I don't remember now.
Verity?
I think it might be Verity.
Verity is recharge rate, I'm pretty sure.
I just it might be Verity. Anyway, so like, but the point is like, if you get a kill with your, if you freeze people, because it was specific for the stasis grenade, was like it really helped. So I had that plus like if you do melee damage or something, you get more energy back, and then I would run the Kava stuff to give more grenade energy back. So I would freeze like a group of enemies, kill them, and I'd have all my stuff up again.
Yeah, you're
And
probably
like
running Osneomancy and Starfire. That sounds about right. Because
I can,
Osneomancy is your grenade recharge is quicker on hits, and
mhm.
then Starfire is grenade recharge from empowered weapon damage with empowered weapon final blows grants more energy.
I'm gonna use my Destiny inventory management. If nobody knows what that is it's called damn. It's a Destiny thingy. And
It's
I
a
can tell
destiny
you,
thingy.
it's a Destiny thingy where you can check your stuff and move weapons around. Where's my armor? I'm wearing it right now, so it is. No, it's Spirit of Apotheosis and the Claw.
That is definitely not what I figured it would be.
So I
But yeah,
temporarily
that does make
gain
sense.
greatly increased melee and grenade energy after super ends. Oh, actually, this might be the wrong one. Is this one? Because I have two. Yeah, Osmomancy and Verity, I think. Yeah, so your grenades recharge quicker on hits. Seeker spawn from cold snap grenades travels further, and then Verity is weapon final blows with a damage type matching grenade get stacking grenade damage bonus and improved regen. Uh, yeah, that's what I use a lot. Or
That's a
the
good combo for like general like ad clear PvE
or
sense.
or I do the Apotheosis plus Spirit of the Claw because Spirit of the Claw is really funny.
It is kind of funny,
Just
especially in PvE,
just
PvP.
just melee, and you're like okay, yeah. So that's what I do for my bond. Well, I'm gonna move us away from Destiny. I sent you a bunch of stuff that
Shoot.
we can talk about. I know Destiny's kind of your main thing, but I want to talk about. I assume you watch anime. Most people I know these days watch anime.
Which is funny because I used to watch a lot of anime, but nowadays I don't just because I don't want to pay for Crunchyroll.
That's valid. I can get away with it. So I do. We watch a lot of anime though at my house.
Yeah, I think the last anime I actually sat down and watched was Castlevania.
That's
Uh,
the Netflix one.
yeah. I
I've
haven't
heard
watched Nocturne yet, but it's so good.
I've heard uh people who like Castlevania don't like the show, but people who don't know the actual Castlevania love the show. I've only
Yeah,
seen it
which
from
is
clips,
that
so
makes sense.
because I don't pay for
I
YouTube. I'm not
mean,
YouTube. Netflix.
yeah, I mean, I personally just love like all the characters themselves and how the story kind of played out, even if it's not like one to one with the game. You know, I feel like if it was a standalone that didn't have a game connected to it as like the brand name, it would be fine.
hmm
I feel like people see show names and they expect like a lot from it, you know, because it's tied to a video game series or a franchise of that sort.
hmm Well, I'm a Halo fan, and the Halo show is abysmal. To everybody who knows the Halo story like at all, that show is horrible. But apparently, it's charting really well for anybody who hasn't played Halo, which is so funny.
That makes sense. A lot of people like see an anime and they're like, "Oh my god, this is so good," but like without knowing like the game behind it or the lore, it's like, yeah,
I think that's
it's
what's
okay.
happening to Devil May Cry right now.
Yeah, a lot of people are kind of enthralled with it.
But
I
I've
was more surprised that like Evanescence put out a song
yeah,
for the for the trailer.
I I legitimately didn't know Evanescence was still making music until like this year. I'm gonna be so
Ex
honest.
That's what I had the exact same thought because like, I on Fridays, I look through my Spotify and I hit, like, new releases, and it pops up with, like, a recommended, of, like, things that I've listened to or, like, things close
Mhm.
to my genre, and I was scrolling it, and I was like, "Hold on, Evanescence, what the heck?"
That's so funny. My first exposure to Evanescence actually is tied to anime. It was an AMV of Naruto and Sasuke fighting in the first series in the final battle in the lake or whatever. When Sasuke's leaving, and I've tried my hardest to find that AMV, and I'm pretty sure it's not on YouTube anymore, and I'm really mad about it because it was really good.
My cousin used to be obsessed with Naruto, like, she had watched, like, every single season and, like, she had cosplayed, like, the characters and stuff.
Mhm.
And, her thing was the super shitty, what is it called? Newgrounds, I think?
Oh, yep,
Like, do you
Newgrounds.
remember the super bad Newgrounds, like, fanfics? Or, like, the Fan Flash, movies?
I think so. Those are gonna be like deep pulls if I even remember them at all.
There used to be, like, a bunch of, like, really shitty drawn, like, Naruto characters, and they would, like, sing to very popular songs, and
That's
it
so
was,
funny.
like, the funniest thing back in the day.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, yeah. So my exposure to Evanescence was a Naruto AMV. So
It's
yeah.
really funny because a lot of people, like, ask me all the time, like, "Oh, have you seen One Piece?" "No." "Have you seen, Full Metal Alchemist?" "No." "Have you seen" like, they list off, like, 10 popular animes, and I'm like, "No. I haven't seen any of these, and I'm not going to."
Oh wow.
Because for me, like, an anime has to capture the art style that I like. If it's not in that art style, I just cannot watch it.
That's so
Like,
interesting.
I'm very picky.
I can
I
get
can't see
past most art styles. It's just like sometimes it's just too much.
Yeah, like, JoJo's is the biggest example of, like, something I just cannot watch because of the art style. The music slaps. I will accept that, but, like, I cannot sit there and look at, like, handsomely drawn, like, buff men and then, like, have the same kind of, like, characters for the women too, and I'm like, "I can't do this." Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna stare at the same exact face on different characters with different hair.
Yeah.
At
It's
least,
a
like yeah, good.
sorry. I was gonna say I don't watch JoJo because one, I don't know, I've heard it's really good. It just doesn't seem everything I see about it doesn't seem interesting except for the memes. And at that point, like I have the memes. And two, because I
Exactly.
know a couple people who really want me to watch JoJo's, and so it pisses them off that I don't want to watch it.
Exactly.
So I'm just like, I mean, it's the same thing with. You mentioned One Piece. I think I've talked about it before on the podcast, but my biggest gripe about One Piece is that it's not as good as people think it is. Because they'll be like, "Oh, it's peak. You need to watch it." And I tried to watch it, and I'm like, "No, this is not great." And they're like, "You have to get through episode 200 before it gets really good." And I said, "Fuck that."
Which is like, why do I have to watch 200 episodes of filler to get to a part that actually has sustenance,
Yeah,
you know?
I
Like,
give
I'm a
like,
real big fan of, like, 12-episode animes.
mm-hmm, yeah, 24 episode animes are usually my favorites. Uh, and I have like a 3 episode max. Like if I'm not captured by the third episode, I'm not finishing it. Like there's nothing. It's not going to hold me.
Exactly.
So I don't know. It's just it's so interesting that you're like, nah, no, I'm just not going to watch any of these. Because I was totally gonna be like,
Yeah.
"Have you seen this really cool anime that I like?" But I'm not gonna do that now because you're just gonna say no. What's the art
Like,
style by the way? Like, what's one show you watch and it's like if it looks like this, it's poggers, and we'll watch it.
I'm, like, a really big fan of Inuyasha.
Oh, oh wow, yeah, you're not gonna get anything like that anymore.
Yeah, like, I loved Inuyasha's art style, but, like, acceptable art styles, I'd say, like, nowadays.
Hmm.
Not sure if you've heard of it, Seraph of the End
Yeah, I've seen that.
is one that I really liked. I've watched Noragami before
Origami's
it got
good.
discontinued. I've seen bits and pieces of Ruby before it started going down the shitter. Like, I stopped at, like, season 3. Um, there's, like, a really old anime called Romeo X Juliet,
Yeah.
but, like,
Mm,
I like the Demon Slayer art for the most part, like, that's a good style to, like, base off, I'd say.
I'm gonna get some
It's really
flack, but
just, like
that show is carried by its art. I think the story is fine. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great. People are
yeah,
it's a little much to be calling it like an insanely great anime. I'm like, eh. I mean, like its art style is extremely pretty. It is very like the story is not bad. It's like pretty good, but it's just gonna like I don't know. Eh. It takes a lot for me to be like, this is the greatest anime of all time.
yeah. Like, I
Full Metal
watched My
Alchemist is
Happy
up there, but
Marriage as well.
I think that's on my list to watch. I'm so behind on anime. Like,
It's so good. It's another short anime that's, like,
oh
peak.
yeah, I
Like, I
really
know,
wanted to
like,
watch this.
a lot of people love Jujutsu Kaisen. I couldn't get into it. I love the characters. Like, I love how, their backstories and stuff because 'cause I've seen a lot of it on TikTok because 'cause
Hmm.
I'm brain rotted. But, like, I just can't sit down and watch a, like, 5-season anime anymore.
I
My
can, but it
brain just
has to
won't
like
let it.
really get me. And
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen like is it's the same boat as Demon Slayer for me. It's like it's good. Uh, it's less carried by its art than I would say Demon Slayer is, but like it's carried by some of its fights. The way they animate the fights more than anything. It's still very good. I don't want people to come out and be like, you don't like these shows. Like, no, I think they're good. They're just not like peak anime to me.
They're not capturing as, like, older animes had to be because, you had to keep them engaging, you had to have that viewership on, like, TV, I feel like a lot of people nowadays just have access to Crunchyroll, and they're hit in the face with, like, 300 options of what they can watch. Meanwhile, us as kids, we had to sit in front of the TV and wait for Adult Swim and, hope that we're catching the correct episode because they would run like, reruns all the time, you know?
Hmm. Toonami is why I actually finished watching Naruto still. Naruto Shippuden, compared to the original Naruto, isn't that great. Still, like I said, still good. Way too much filler.
Of course,
The
it's
last arc is
Naruto.
way too fucking long. And Kishimoto, the author, absolutely had no idea how to end that shit. The last the last fight against the big bad is like it's so long, it's so dumb, and the way they kill him is so nonsensical, and it's I don't know, it's just kind of dumb, but still good. It's still like one of my favorite anime of all time. I just admit to its flaws. My favorite anime of all time is 12-episode anime, and it has so many plot holes and is so bad uh, that
Which
I
one is
want
it?
you will. I would be if you have heard of this anime or have seen it. I would be beyond shocked. It's called Witchcraft Works.
Nope.
Yeah, this was like 10 years ago. Let's see. I actually want to see when did it come out now. It basically came out to be a ad for the movie or for the manga.
Ah,
So that's what like most 12 episode animes really are. It's just ads for at least that's what they used to be. It's just ads for manga. And then so we're never getting season 2 of this. It didn't chart super well either, so I'm not surprised. But I love it a lot. It's got like romance. It's a 2014 anime. Yeah, so 11 years. It's got
which
some
is so
romance in
crazy
it.
to think about.
And I actually had to follow the manga, and the manga artist or author, I mean, kept getting sick because they're overworked. Uh,
Oh, yeah,
it
100%.
finally ended. They had to they cut the ending pretty short and skipped some stuff. They made it go by really fast, but at least it ended with some resolution to the relationship. That's all I give a shit about anymore.
We love that.
Yeah, I was
I
like, we
think,
love that.
one of the more recent ones that I've been watching or, like, already finished and will, like, rewatch is, like, Angels of Death, which was based off of a video game for the Switch, pretty sure.
Yeah,
It's either
is it
Switch
Angel?
or yeah,
Oh,
it's
I've
called
seen
Angels of
this.
Death.
I've seen
Yeah.
this. I haven't watched it, but I know of it.
Yeah, I was, like, addicted to the main antagonist,
Hmm.
because he's so cool. And then, I've been watching a lot of, like, Studio Chizu stuff. So, like, one of my favorite Ghibli movies is Howl's Moving Castle. Like, I can watch that back to back,
House
and
Moving
each
Castle's
time
good.
still have I just love Howl, man. I have butterflies in my stomach every single time I see that man.
I'm a
But
self-admitted, like,
the
huge fan of romance anime, and, like, slice of life stuff.
real
So, like, I'll watch like, if I go to my backlog right now, it's, like, 40 different 12-episode romance-ish anime and, like, a few action anime. It's,
yeah, like, I started watching, Spy X Family too, and then
God,
I
it's
caught up
that's
to it
so good.
and then stopped watching because I let my sub run out, and I just don't remember where I was, so I stopped watching it.
It's so good.
Um, but the Studio Chizu stuff has, like, captured me. Like, there's, Freddie actually went and brought me to the movie theater to see it in theaters when Belle came out, and, like, I think it was 2021,
Mhm.
and that has since grown to be one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, wow.
Because I've never sat in a movie theater and bawled my eyes out to the ending more than I have to that show, to the point where I would rewatch it with people who haven't seen it before, and I would still tear up at those scenes, even though I knew it was coming.
I should
It's
watch
just
it
like,
then.
man.
Well, I'm gonna steer us away from anime. I'm sure we could continue to talk about it. But, uh, well, I know you play a lot of Destiny. It's what you like. I don't think I've seen you stream anything but Destiny, even if you have. But do you play anything outside of Destiny right now?
I
What's
mean,
what's your non-Destiny gaming look like, if any at all?
I feel like I have a lot of games downloaded that I could play, but Destiny has just been the hyperfixation.
Mhm.
Outside of Destiny, um, really, it comes down to, like, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, honestly, which is so funny because that came out so long ago. But that's just been like my turn my brain off and replay this for the 20th, 30th time. That's been the game.
Mhm.
But like I've played other games. I've played, like Rainbow Six and Valorant and Faz and, you know, a whole bunch of other games and like nothing has really captured me. There was a point in time when I was just playing Lethal Company
Yeah, I love
back in my
Lethal
old friend
Company.
group. Yeah, it was so good. Lethal Company when it first came out, and I had it modded, so, I'd walk up to a loot bug and it'd be like, "Yippee!" and then I
Yippee!
would walk away.
It's so good.
That was my favorite thing in the game. Um, at one point, I was playing For Honor with my friend's
Mhm.
son, like, cause that was his game, and he was getting burnt out from Destiny, so that was what we played. But, like, outside of those games, I don't really didn't really play a lot. Nothing has really captured my brain cells like this game has, unfortunately. I mean, we used to play a really obscure MMO, which I doubt anyone's ever heard of. But if you're a fan of Dragon Quest, there is a Japanese MMO called Dragon Quest X, Dragon Quest X
Mhm.
Online. For a long period of time, like before I got into Destiny, that was my main game, and that was what I was mainly streaming.
Oh,
To the
Dragon
point
Quest? Yeah,
where,
I've heard of it.
yeah,
I thought you were gonna
like
say Dragon
my
Quest, but this instead, and then I don't know.
no, it's Dragon Quest X.
Yeah, yeah.
So what happened there is my husband found out about it, and he's like a huge Dragon Quest nerd. Like I'm looking to my right now, we have an entire wall just dedicated to Dragon Quest slimes. Um, like it's a whole ass shelf. It's crazy. Um, so he's a huge fan of the series, always has been since he was a kid, and he found out that they made a Dragon Quest X online version, which is the MMO. And he was like, "Hey, I really want to get this set up." So he went through and like got it set up, and we found out that there was actually a really nice community that started making an English translation for it. So
Mhm.
we started back when the translation was like in the baby phases of like it being ran through like really bad AI to like translate it, like Google Translate kind of AI to tell the story. And now they've gotten so advanced to the point where you wouldn't even believe it was a Japanese MMO. Like they have went through and hand translated all of the game files, and it's, like, actually legible, and you wouldn't believe that it's in Japan.
Huh. Well,
Yeah.
I tried to fish for a game to play. We'll figure something out. Uh, at some
I
point.
mean, I played Sea of Thieves for a long time. That was another one that was, like,
I
really
played
capturing me.
Sea of Thieves for a while, but I only ever played by myself because I didn't know anybody who played Sea of Thieves. Uh,
And
and
we
I
also
just
played
liked
Smite a lot.
sailing. I just like to sail. I didn't even do like stuff. I was just like, I enjoy
Oh,
going through the ocean and sailing. That's all I did. I went to some of the islands, but I was like, I'm just gonna sail. Boop boop boop. That's all I did. It was just relaxing to just I don't know.
sorry, 1 second. I am so sorry. Give me, like, 5 minutes. My cat just, like, threw up on my bed.
Oh, gross. Okay.
Yeah, you can cut that out, but I will be right back.
No, I'm gonna leave it
It would be funnier if you left it in.
in.
I'm so sorry, I am back.
Welcome back.
Did not expect that. So that was kinda funny.
The cat throw up of opportunity strikes when you least expect it.
For real. My friend my friends are over right now, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm trying to record this podcast with my friend, and the cat just decided to throw up," and they were like, "Well, the cat wanted to make it memorable," you know?
I don't want you to remember a cat throw up whenever I'm like, hey, how's it going?
Nah,
That would be awful. I want to be associated with something else, not cat throw up.
you're associated with Halo for me,
Let's
so
go.
don't worry.
It'd be weird if I wasn't, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, where were we?
What that's I don't remember.
We were talking about games and trying to find something to play.
Oh, right, I play Smite. That
I
was,
haven't
like,
played
the
Smite
game that
in like
got
10 years.
yeah, that was the game that got me and Freddie together, really, because he started playing it, and then, like, he was really good at it, and then he started bringing me through it, and I was really bad at it,
Let's
and that's,
go.
like that was the start.
It's just third person league. I don't know.
I mean, I don't like League. I don't like the top-down control your character games like that.
Yep.
I much prefer, like, being able
Same.
to see how your abilities work in, third person rather than top down.
Yeah, I don't like isometric games. I like first or third person games.
Exactly.
The fabled second person game will be what saves us. That would be crazy. I don't even know how you can't even make a second person game, but that would be really funny if they did. I
They
guess
should
you
make
would
a fourth person game where it's like
a
you're
fourth
watching
person
someone
game.
else play.
Oh no, it's a quick time event for for a character who's playing a different game.
I will say, um, my husband occasionally does this thing where we'll have like a lot of people over and we'll play like the Until Dawn types of games.
Oh, those are fun.
So we'll have like a whole bunch of people over. Those games are quite funny to watch, especially because I'm so bad at QuickTime events and he's really good at them. So we would have like a QuickTime event and I'd throw in the controller like, honey, you have to do this. Otherwise I'm gonna get them killed. So funny.
My significant other loves games like that, and they played. I don't remember which one it was, but they played it until they got every ending. Or
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah.
Like I would not be that involved. Like my favorite pastime series as a whole is Animal Crossing.
Hmm.
So I played a lot of Animal Crossing, especially like the GameCube version. Like that was my thing back in the day. I would get home, I'd like finish my homework, and then I'd boot up Animal Crossing.
I've been a. I would play when I got home. I was playing Halo. I've been a PvP player for like basically my entire life. That's why I like. I
Honestly,
don't know.
crazy.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I can play other games. I enjoy like RPGs and stuff. But if I just want to like casually do anything, it's amazing how much I'm just like I'm gonna play a PvP game and I'll just chill. That's like the biggest
Yeah.
issue with me for Destiny. That's why I don't like play it. I don't enjoy the PvP enough. If I enjoy the PvP, I'd probably be on Destiny almost daily. But anyway, what we're really here for is to talk about music.
Oh, yes.
Because just wait, comments. I finally have a guest on that. One listens to Sleep Token and two likes them. So get owned, nerds.
Everybody hates Sleep Token when you bring them on?
No, I just talk about Sleep Token a lot. most people,
Understandably, I mean.
most people don't know who they are. The only one who knew who they were was Anakim. No, I've had two people who knew who they are. Anakim was one, but Anakim knew about them because they watched my stream and heard them and really enjoyed the music. So they listened to Take Me Back to Eden. And then one was my buddy uh Azurath, and he didn't really like how Sleep Token did their music, which is which is fine. Like it's not for everybody. Uh, so I've only had two people come on who knew what they are. One person liked it, one person didn't. Um, but Anakin didn't know anything other than like liking some of the music. So like, but like one, the singer name goes by Vessel.
Yeah,
And it's actually they all go by Vessel. They're actually all Vessel 1, 2, 3, 4, but community wise, it's Vessel, then two, then three, then four for
yeah,
the other members. Um, so yeah, everybody who's listening, if you don't like Sleep Token, I'm so sorry, but that's like what we're gonna talk about for a minute at least.
of course. Like, my friend, in the server ended up getting me into it,
Mm-hmm.
and it started as, like, him being like, "Okay, listen to, Aqua Regia." So, listen to
Good one.
Aqua Regia was like, "Wow, that's a very interesting song." And I was, like, listening to the album back, and then it landed on "Do You Wish That You'd Love Me?" And that was the song that resonated with me the most because it was more like looking at myself in a mirror. Um, and then I started listening to like their other albums, found like Granite and what was it? Atlantic was like a big one for me. Like that was
Yeah,
on my
Atlantic
repeat
is
playlist a
crazy.
lot. Atlantic goes so hard for no reason.
I think just listening to Sleep Token is really fun. Like they have like a really good vibe you can just listen to. And then if you like really listen to them and you're like trying to you listen to the lyrics, they've got like really good lyrics. And if you really listen to the lyrics, you're like, damn,
You're like, man, Vessel's going through something.
he is going through some shit like the whole time.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is cheerful and happy. Oh shit, wait. Actually, no.
Yeah.
Who hurt him?
If you just like listen like obviously it's like sad, like some of it's like sad, and I mean like most of it's sad. But it's
Some
really
of it's
vibey.
actually most of it's sad.
I mean like the song Atlantic is has a lot of metaphors about like actually I can't talk about that on YouTube, I don't think. So I'm gonna talk about a different thing. um La Higher. The song it's one of my favorites. But that's about literally people screaming and being toxic to each other.
Yeah.
So, and that's off the first album, which is called Sundowning, which is a horribly sad condition. And it's the album cover or album title, which is, it's just kind of wild. And then, like,
Trying to find which one out of this. I think Sugar was the one that captured me a lot from that one because it was like the most odd out of all of the songs that he has on that one. And I was like, holy moly, Vessel.
I, I can't remember. I think it's Jericho from their EP 2, where he's like talking about stuff, and then he's like talking about taping somebody's mouth closed and what a bullet does to a naked person. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But it's the lyrics, it's so funny because you have like the duality of that song,
Oh,
and
it's
then
not
you
Jericho,
go
but
and look at
it's
his newer albums, and like the line like do you ever believe that we can turn into different people, it's getting harder to be myself, is like, damn, is this really like how the music industry is like started to view him, as like he
mhm,
just can't be himself anymore, he has to be Vessel. It's like, it's crazy to me.
yeah. And I was wrong. It wasn't Jericho's Nazareth. I think EP2 is where they found their sound. By the way, this like kind of like worship, like church worship type vibe. 'Cause,
It's like
EP1, it's really creepy. It's really good, I enjoy EP1. EP2 is where, like, they start to find their sound.
yeah, and it's definitely gotten to the point where he's more, um I'd say he's kinda like pop mixed with, like, gospel,
Yeah.
with also rock. Even though it classifies as him like rock on YouTube, there's some songs that, like, you can show them, um what are 2 good examples?
I mean, I would say, like, Aqua Regia and Granite are, like, 2 songs that you could show somebody, and they're not I think that they do have some I think it's Granite has some guitars in it, but, like, it's not, like, the whole song, and it's not, um, I don't know.
Well, if you
Missing Limbs from This Place Become Your Tomb, Mine. They've got a lot of songs that I wouldn't consider, like, a rock song.
yeah, like, take Vor
Yeah,
and then
that
show them Rain,
yeah.
and show someone Rain, and those are
Rain is
2
my favorite.
different styles made by the same exact person, which is so crazy to me.
On
It's
the
like
same album.
yeah. It's really that album really goes from, like, "Oh, shit," to really sad.
Yeah. It's so funny. I saw this comment, and they were talking about Sleep Token, and they were like, critics are trying to be mean to them or whatever. Metalheads are gatekeeping them. Uh, Nobody can define their genre. Welcome back, Linkin Park. And I said that was so funny. Like having lived through Linkin Park and seeing how people
Linkin
reacted to
Park
it, and it wasn't even
was
as extreme with how because like Linkin Park was like definitively like a prog rock metal for like most of their existence. Um, and Sleep Token is definitely not.
yeah, like, I grew up listening to Linkin Park
hmm
to the point where, like, when the One More Light album came out, that had me in, like, a chokehold. Like, that was, like, my go-to album. If I was, like, really upset, I used to have a CD for it in my car that I would
hmm
just blast, you know? And then, like,
Yeah,
when
Chester,
Chester passed
yeah,
away,
man.
that hit me like a truck. And
hmm
then fast forward years down the line now, I'm scrolling through my new releases, as I do,
Yeah, and they put
and
out
Friendly
Lost.
Fire pops up, and I'm like,
Oh, you did
"Oh,
you not get
shit."
Lost? You got friendly. Okay, I got Lost. The
Yeah, mine was Friendly Fire, um, and I was like, "Wow, this is really good." And then I decided to look up the lyrics, and in big letters, it said, "Feet Chester," and I fucking broke down. I was sobbing for, like, a good 10 minutes, and I was like, "Man, the
yeah.
things they do to me."
When I was listening to Lost and like I was told like it was like emotional because it was the first time you'd heard new Chester Bennington since he passed away and like it was really tragic. And then it got to the part where he did like one of his one of his screams. I was like that's like one of the few times music has straight up made me cry like and I've not been able to like hold it together.
Yeah,
Linkin Park was so like important, I guess, cuz all the music was really good.
yeah.
And
Another big artist for me back in the day, like, when I was going through school, was Avicii,
yep.
and
He
then,
I
like
wasn't as into their music, but they were again, they made good music. I just wasn't my taste at the time.
yeah, his death hit me really hard. Um, I would watch a lot of Lindsey Sterling's and stuff.
Mhm.
So when her friend who would help her develop the music passed away as well, that also was, like, really upsetting.
Yeah.
But it's
I
like
think
the basis of, like, our childhoods, I guess you can say, or our teenage years
mhm. There's
was
a
growing
lot
up
of
on
people
those.
that like Linkin Park that liked or, like, really liked Linkin Park or loved Linkin Park that like Sleep Token, who can and I know for them, like, the whole, because they listen to the lyrics, and the lyrics even if you, like, haven't listened to all of the albums and don't look into, like, the lore, because they do, like, the lore around the band, like, you can know, like, these are not super happy songs. Even, like, some of the metaphors are kinda out there if you don't know some stuff or, like, haven't listened to all of their music. Um, but I think there's a lot of like, myself included, a lot of Linkin Park fans, who like hear all that stuff, and you'll just read the comments, and they're like, "We love you," blah blah blah, because you know we've gone through it already. Like a lot of people around my age group and our age group with like that were Linkin Park fans have gone through like people not recognizing what's really being said in the lyrics until it's too late.
Yeah, which is crazy to me. I'm probably gonna be really controversial, but I do not like New Linkin Park. I don't like it at all.
I tried to give it a fair shake because like as much as I love Chester Bennington's voice and his style and and resonated with the stuff he's saying about and his unfortunate tragic passing, like it's just I don't know, it just I can't listen to it. It's just not as good. And unfortunately, it's not like a downplay because their singer's a good singer. It's just when I want to listen to Linkin Park, I want to listen to Linkin Park. I want to listen to Chester Bennington. So anybody else, it's just not fair.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of controversy with that
There was a
because
lot of controversy, yeah.
a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're not filling the shoes that he left behind" and stuff.
There's a lot of other controversy and stuff like that, and I'm not gonna bring it up or anything, but my biggest reason for not listening is I just don't think it's as good musically as it was, and that's just I think that's the
Yeah,
lyric writing, the instrumentation in general, like all of it. Like I don't think it's as
the
good.
raw emotion that he had during some of the songs. Um I think about Shadow of the Day, Lost in the Echo, old Linkin Park,
Hmm.
you know. Like those songs had the raw emotion that today's Linkin Park does not have.
Yeah, it just feels it's Linkin Park in name only right now, and that's not to say the music isn't good. But if you grew up on it, like I think more people are gonna be the first to listening to it. Uh,
Yeah, think Panic at the Disco is a really good example of that. Like you look at old Panic at the Disco and you see the creativity with everything. Like I Write Sins Not Tragedies was high up there for one reason. It was a really good song written by Panic, and then I don't remember what made it popular exactly, but it was very popular back in the day. And then
mhm,
you look at nowadays, Panic at the Disco just is Brandon Urie, and it's really just Panic in name alone.
mhm. It's so funny we talk about the lyrics stuff. It's like was it Rage Against the Machine? Oh man, it Rage Against the Machine. I don't listen to a lot of their music, but it's so funny. Because their singer has like a Harvard degree in poli sci, and he's like really researched in history and does all this stuff and is politically active. And then people will get mad at them for making a political statement, and like whether I agree with it or not, they'll make this statement, right? It'll be like the sky is green, and then somebody in the comments will be like, "Wow, I can't believe you're making such a political statement." Blah blah blah. I'm never listening to Rage Against the Machine again. And then somebody, without fail, will reply to them and be like, "What machine do you think they were raging against?"
Which is just it's funny.
Yeah, that stuff makes me laugh all the time. But I don't know. Forgive me if you mentioned it, but the staying back to sleep talking because I'm gonna be annoying. Do you see that Caramel charted 34th on the Global 100 board? It's like by far their highest placing.
I think right now my on repeat has Caramel at the top slot, so I could see it.
They're
Caramel is probably gonna be my song of the year.
yeah, Caramel and Emergence are top 1 and 2 of the rock Billboard. I still think like that's gonna cause more discourse than it should because Sleep Token is like rock in name only, but
Yeah, they're definitely
th- they're
their
genre
own
fluid.
genre.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which is funny because I look at Emergence and yeah, it was good, but it's not my super cup of tea. And
I
then you
love
look at
Emergence.
Caramel, which is you know, not in your face with the rock side. It's like the really soft side at first, and then it gets into the reggae, and then it goes into the rock, and I'm like, what emotions am I feeling through this entire song? It's like
Hmm.
a whole ass roller coaster the entire way through.
If I would get DMCA'd into the sun, I would probably play part of it right here. But I would get DMCA'd into the sun, so I won't.
Yeah.
But it's like and like and then you have it has like a music box intro, and that's playing the whole time in the background, and then you get through like like you said, like the kind of like reggae inspired beats, and then a bit of like modern rock, and then it hits you with fucking blast beats and like heavy metal
Yeah,
and screaming. It's like insane.
it's so funny that you say the music box reference because as I was scrolling through TikTok, someone had came across, like, that song and made, like,
Like, oh yeah,
some
the
art
3D
to
thing.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the 3D music box, and they were talking about it in the comments about how this song really puts him in a music box, and it makes you look at the singer as if, like, he's trapped in this music box of, like, he has to keep singing the same songs over and over again, and that's kinda just, like, his life now, you know? He's a puppet, if you would.
Hmm. And then that song on its own, if the lyrics are like insane. Um, there's a I'm gonna play it for just a second so I can pull up the lyrics on YouTube. Um, where is it? I'm not wearing my glasses because I'm an idiot.
Oh my god, wait, find out Nick's blind?
I'm not blind, but
Shocker.
I'm supposed to wear glasses when I'm like like I'm supposed to wear glasses when I'm driving. I can see fine. Like I'm not gonna run into a wall or I'm not gonna trip over something more than like a normal person who doesn't need glasses does. But sometimes reading is a little kind of weird.
Yeah, I noticed that people can, like, add comments to the song lyrics, which is so interesting.
Oh, but there's this spot where he's basically like, um, he he's like talking about like all this stuff and like being nervous and being like a prison, but he's like, but I still want to see your hands. Like he still wants people to come and enjoy the music. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, my heart. And then I play the song over again. I do listen to this song a lot. I think it's really good. I didn't. It wasn't my favorite on the first listen. But the
Yeah,
second listen, I
that's
really enjoyed it.
the second and onward is what, like, if a song doesn't capture me in the first, like, 30 seconds, I'll usually click off. It captured me to the point where I was like, "Okay," like, it's Sleep Token, I'm gonna give it, like, an inch, you know? And then I was like, "Okay, I fuck with this."
Mhm.
And then at the end, I was like, "Damn." Like, and then I started looking at the lyrics more in depth, and I was like, "Holy moly."
Mhm. Okay, I found it. I
Like,
found the thing I was talking about. The lyric is, "And if you don't think I mean it, then I understand. But I'm so glad you came. So let me see those hands." And like the whole
yeah.
like chorus before that is like talking about being stressed and um being like exposed to the paparazzi and being uncomfortable, uh, and how he doesn't want to be like he's trying to hide in the limelight is like literally a lyric. He just wants people to focus on the music. Like that's the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's
And
like people keep thinking about, like, who's underneath the mask, who is Vessel, you know, and trying to, like, expose him at every single, like, chance that they get. And, you know, so many people who are in the music industry who have had, like, those things happen to them have fallen off the face of the earth after.
yeah, um, for anybody that has that like Google's, if you go out and like you're gonna Google sleep token for whatever reason or whatever search engine, be careful. There is a website. It's called. I think I swear it's called. It's sleep dash token. It's sleep-token.com. I think it's what it is. It's one of the first results. Don't open it. Make sure you know what website you're clicking into because that doxes them.
Does it
It'll tell you.
actually?
Yeah, it'll have. It has his real name.
That's crazy.
I know two. I think it's two had his birth certificate posted on the internet. So yeah, it's people were like doxing them and like putting out their real name and all this other insane stuff. It's just
Which is
crazy.
crazy to me. It's like
Okay, it's
we live in a
sleeptoken.com.
society.
Don't go to it's sleep-token is like is the I think the actual website. Yeah, that's the actual website. Uh Sleep Token oneword.com is the fake one. Don't open that.
The more you know.
The more you know. And so like there's a video of Vessel singing on stage, and he like spits at somebody and then flips him off. It's because they're yelling his name at him.
Which is insane to me because it's like, why would you go to a concert? Why would you spend the amount of money just to go there and like throw someone's real name in their face when you can clearly see that it's a show, you know?
Yeah, all they literally just want us to listen to the music and vibe, and you're like, let me be a dick and not do that.
Yeah, like what's the point?
Yeah. So that song made me really sad because of all the stuff. Of it being like, it's still like could be attributed to some of the lore in Sleep Token, but it's definitely the guy behind Vessel being like, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, a lot of people like after hearing that, especially on TikTok, because it was going viral as all hell. Every single person I saw was feeling really shitty about how Vessel gets treated on like the day to day as like a singer.
Hmm.
'Cause, like, we all respect his music, but then there's just crazy fans out there who just wanna see who's under the mask and, they wanna find out, like, "Oh, who is this guy? What is his hobbies?" Like, no, like, he's here to tell a story through the mask, if you would. He's
Hmm.
not here to tell you that he was, like, growing up and doing soccer or something, you know?
Now I want to hear Vessel sing about playing soccer. I think it would be really insane, actually. I'm just
Be really funny.
he is to be more positive, very vocally talented. I don't know if you've ever heard any of like obviously the recordings of him singing live are distorted because they're like phone camera and like phone microphones, which have come a long way, but are still not like great. Uh, he hits those high notes live all the time, and then can do all the other stuff. I'm just like, that's insane. And he's dancing the whole time, like, bro.
Yeah.
I'm
His
like trying to
dancing
work
is
out,
really
and then I
funny.
look at him, and I'm like, oh my god, he's throwing himself all over the stage and still singing, and I'm like, okay, we get it. You could run a marathon and then sing for us. You don't have to. Please just chill. But I also mentioned Starset to you the other
Oh
day
my god,
randomly,
Starset.
and we were both like,
Dude,
"Oh my god!" It was literally every time Crystal and I think I've talked about music, it's been the Spider-Man meme. I was like, we were like, "Sleep
it's just
Token was
like it's
point,
us pointing at each other.
Starset
Starset
point."
was
Like,
I think the thing that got me into Starset was Monster, to be honest.
I think that's
And
I'm
then
I'm gonna be real. I think that's the majority of their fan base.
yeah, Starset,
I'm gonna hear the
Monster
first song
was
that
the one
shows
that
up
got
if
me
you
into
search
it,
Starset.
and then Trials was one that my friend showed me, like, recently, and that
Hmm.
got stuck in my head forever.
Have you heard the newest like singles they put out, like Toxic and Dystopia
I
and Dark
heard
Things?
Dystopia, but I don't think I listened to Toxic, so
I
I
mean, all of
might
it's
have
really
to, like,
good.
revisit it.
They have really good quality on like all their stuff. I just like running into another Sleep Token fan in the or not Starset fan in the wild is so funny.
Of course. I mean, I like a lot of off-genre stuff. Like,
Hmm.
I like everything except for, like, very heavy metal, country, and,
Let's see. I
like,
like country.
rap. I can vibe with everything else for the most part.
What if
So,
I'm gonna
like,
find you a
there's
country song you like. Damn it.
there's very few and far between. Um, but, like, there's a thing that I do with my friend group sometimes where if I'm in the mood to listen to something I haven't listened to before, I'll hit them with SOTD, song of the day. I'll
Hmm.
be like, "Hey, what's your song of the day right now?" And they'll send me a link, and then that'll determine whether or not I add it to my playlist or not if it hits, like, the brain cells.
Yeah. You know what? Starset put out a single. I think it's on an album, but it's listed as a single where they did a collab with Breaking Benjamin, and I about threw my computer when they when I saw that song. I like freaked out because I love Breaking Benjamin.
Which is really funny because I've heard a lot of people say that Breaking Benjamin is really good, and I can't get into it.
I think Breaking Benjamin is really good, but it hits a specific sound that you either really like or you're just kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
And they all and
Like
that's all they do. Like they are, it's kind of like Disturbed. They know their sound and that's what they
Electric
play.
Bunnies. Yeah.
You know, they're gonna play their sound, which is fine. That's what you want. Like Sleep Token has their sound. Like you can listen to a song by Sleep Token and you're like, I can hear like it like Caramel is different than everything else that they've played. You know, when I listen to it, I'm like, this is a Sleep Token song.
Yeah, like I'm a big fan of like Set It Off, um,
Pretty sure I set it off in
Panic.
my one of my playlist. I do.
Caravan Palace is like one of my favorite artists of all time because they just have variety in their music.
Hmm.
I'm like looking through my playlist right now. AJR is like really good. Mystery Skulls,
Have you ever listened
21
to?
Pilots.
This is a little more on the heavier side, but like, do you ever listen to like Bring Me the Horizon?
Yes and no. I have very certain songs that I like with them.
Okay,
Like,
that's
I don't
fair.
know if you've heard it, but, like, have you heard the Ed Sheeran one?
No, I have not.
Okay, I'm gonna send you the song so you can listen to it after we're done because it's absolutely insane.
Okay.
I
And
really like their Wonderwall cover that they did as well.
have you heard the Kingslayer where they have Baby Metal on? I love that. I don't know what they're saying in half of the song, but I love that song. It's such a vibe.
Baby Metal slaps.
Yeah, Baby Metal's
Like,
great. Anybody who gets mad at somebody for listening to them, you suck. That they are awesome. I wish they would play it more. I should listen to them more. But I got introduced to them through Bring Me the Horizon because they had the collab. Another band that's I consider them closer to like old school Linkin Park. Is From Ashes to New. They have
yeah,
like
I have a couple of songs on my playlist by them too.
oh my god, Spider Man meme, stop. What is it? Hang on. There's a funny band that I only found because yeah, here, okay, here they are. Hang on. So my friend, my one of my best friends, if not my best friend, is they've been on the podcast is Dino Pillow, and one of their things is always telling their friends to put on maid outfits. And so I wound up listening to this band just because I saw a picture of them on the internet called Bandmaid. It's a Japanese rock band, and some of them wear maid outfits, and they just play like rock music.
Oh, I see. I just looked them up. That's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, like if anybody's listening, you can find if you need music. Apparently, Crystal and I have the most immaculate taste.
Apparently. I mean,
Apparently, not to
don't get me wrong.
not to
I
brag or
also
anything.
don't get me wrong, I also listen to, like, Creed, so I don't know how much
I don't know how many you
you
can
can
hate
really
on with
take
arms
their
wide open. I love Creed. What
okay,
do you
I also
mean?
listen to Nickelback, though,
But like
and, you know,
also
that might get
Nickelback is
me
funny.
immediately Nickelback is so good, and I think people hate on it because they wanna hate on
It's
it in
yeah,
this way
it's
because
just fun to
it's the
hate on.
meme of hating on it, but
Yeah.
when you actually listen to it, it's, like, really good.
Yeah.
Another up and coming artist that I've been listening to right now
Real
has
quick,
been
uh
Lion.
sorry, I
Yeah.
wanna you can tell me again. But real quick on the Nickelback thing, have you heard the thing where they edit the audio for look at this photograph and it just look at this
Look at this
graph?
graph. Look at this graph. It's my favorite. It's a good meme.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I think
but
Nickelback
yeah, La
is fine.
Lion.
And Malayan, can you just send me
It's
the name?
La Lion.
La
LA
Lion.
Lion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's been up and coming. Like, for example, they only have 550K listeners.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I like them a lot. I just
That,
sent you
okay. I
the entire
will
thing.
I will check that out. Uh based on what songs you like from Sleep Token, I'm gonna send you this one country song.
Oh no.
Uh, and you just
Based off a sleep token song.
no, just because of content. You just gonna have to listen to it because the lyrics are like good. For anybody who was listening to "Are You Really Okay" or "Do You Wish You Love Me," they're like, "You're a liar." You guys would love these songs. They'll make you feel happy, and it's just the Anakin liar. Oh man, I can't wait for hang on. I'm gonna find there's a couple. I'm gonna find a specific one though.
Well, I find it really funny because I usually don't like country songs, but there are some really memey country songs that I love.
I think they people that blindly hate country just haven't heard the country songs that they vibe with. Um,
That's probably true because I grew up on a lot of John Denver because my grandmother was obsessed with him, like to the point where she would have his CDs on repeat at all times.
mhm.
And you can only take so many listens of John Denver before you go insane.
I can't find. I know what this song is called, and I literally can't remember. Well, I remember. I know who sings it, but I can't find. Oh, here it is. I'll find you a good like. I use YouTube Music because I have YouTube Premium because I watch too
Ah,
much YouTube. So everything I send just gonna be on YouTube.
that's fine.
Also, one of the songs I really like is that's on YouTube isn't on Spotify for some reason. I don't know why.
Which is they really need to like get better at putting songs on Spotify.
It costs money. Like I was originally gonna put this podcast on Spotify, but I didn't want to pay for it. I just didn't. It was like it's like $30, but I was like nah, or it's more. I can't
I
remember.
get
It.
that.
I was just like nah. Maybe I will. I've got like a decent enough regular listener base that like maybe putting it on Spotify would be nice for them, but we'll see. Well, we have gone much longer than I was anticipating, partly because we had to pause, but also we're really good at talking.
Which is
We're some
surprising because I said I
yappers.
suck at public speaking before coming onto here.
Yeah, well, I mean, really, you just gotta like talk. You're just really talking to me, right? And just people are just listening. It's not really a. It's like streaming, but less live because
Yeah.
it's not live. And like I told you, I've practiced with public speaking because one of my old jobs was doing presentations in front of 300 to 500 people. That was cool. But before I let you go, you've talked about your streaming and your chirping. Are you playing any content outside of continuing to do your raid streams, or are you just kind of in your lane
I
for
mean,
now?
my streams have just kind of devolved into whatever I'm playing in the game at that point.
Hmm.
Like there are some like games that I'll just play with like my friend group, but like I played Repo as one of them. I've been playing some more Smite, but I think Destiny is probably just gonna be where I sit right now. You
Okay.
know?
I mean that makes sense. Stick with what you enjoy, right? Like, and you've kind of built your community in Destiny, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like if I branch off right now, like I'm just gonna kind of like lose the people that I have watching for my Destiny content. And I'm at a point where I'm not like super exhausted with the game to where I feel like I am gonna branch out. But, you know, who knows what tomorrow will bring.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, they did just announce something for Destiny. I forget the name. Bad podcast host.
Yeah, the Right of the Nine
Yeah, but it
is
was something
there's the Right of the Nine
else.
and then there is um I'm gonna look at my tweets. I know it's in here. The Edge of Fate.
Edge of Fate. Yeah, it's coming soon ish. Actually, we'll just let's check good old John Titor. He tweets
Of
about
John
Destiny.
Titor. It's coming the
Five
well, I know
six
it's
is when
coming
they're
in the
showing it
summer,
off.
but yeah, the
May
6th
6th.
is gonna be like their big reveal of it.
Yeah. Well, we will see. Hopefully, it's good. Hopefully, it continues to keep you entertained and all that good stuff. But yeah. So we're a little over. I appreciate you hanging out. Hopefully, your bed is saved for
Yeah,
anybody who is.
she threw up on a sweater, so we're good.
Oh, okay, good. At least it wasn't on the actual bed. I would destroy my cats if they threw up on our bed. But For anybody who has made it this far into the podcast, we appreciate you watching and or listening, whether you're eating your breakfast, lunch, or dinner, evening, morning, or night. I want to thank you, Crystal, for coming on. I know it was kind of seat of our pants there for a minute and really fast, but we appreciate you spending some time and chatting with us.
Well, I'm glad that my internet didn't decide to cut out this time when we had originally planned this.
It was just a quick time event. And like you said, you weren't very good at
I
them.
failed it. I wasn't
So
prepared.
yeah, it was you just weren't ready. I hit mine and I was like, okay, Crystal, go. And then you were like, no. All right.
Critical failure.
And to everyone else, we thank you so much for hanging out, and we will see you guys next time.